Hello everybody, it's MAFDOMiNUS and welcome back to another episode of MAFDOMiNUS at the Theater, the series where I review the movies that have recently come out. And today's movie is very special because it's actually originally from Japan that has gotten a United States wide release. That movie being My Hero Academia You're Next. Now, I know what you're thinking, My Hero Academia, isn't that the one with the toxic fandom? Yeah, the fandom is pretty toxic and cringe to say the least. But I do like the show itself. Now, of course, there's a lot to criticize about the show, but for the most part, I do like My Hero Academia. I think it's a fairly decent anime manga. Now, what about the movies? Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't seen many of the movies. Your Next is basically the first My Hero Academia movie I actually saw, and the reason why I saw it in theaters is because it could be the last My Hero Academia movie ever to be released in theaters, so I may as well go ahead, take my chance, and you know what? The movie is pretty good. What I like about Your Next is that it kind of feels like it's a modern day fairy tale. You have your hero going around to rescue the damsel in distress from this villain. It's a classic fairy tale, but remodernized into the modern age. But not in a, oh, we got to reinterpret this for modern audiences who don't like the damsel in distresses, and we have to go woke all the time. No. None of that controversy here. It's a straight up modernized adaptation of a fairy tale. See, this is how you do modernized versions of fairy tales or other stories that might be considered old-fashioned. You don't deconstruct them, you basically just put them in how it would be in a setting such as My Hero Academia, where there's a bunch of superheroes and stuff. That's what makes this story interesting. It's not just a generic fairy tale, it's a fairy tale inside of a superhero movie, and that's what makes it so interesting. The pacing of the story is well adjusted. You get interested from start to finish. There was never a moment where I was bored. The animation quality was really good, and I like the message of the film overall, where the main hero who's trying to rescue the damsel in distress is basically trying to kill her because her superpower can basically end the entire world. But he doesn't want to do that. That's where Deku, the main protagonist of My Hero Academia, comes along, and he tries to make it so that everybody gets a happy ending. You know, stop the villain, but also keep the damsel in distress alive. And I like that about that, you know, because Deku is the kind of hero who has to try and save everybody. It's kind of the opposite of the theme of The Flash, where you can't save everyone. But here, Deku tries his damnedest to save everybody, and he succeeds. Because, you know, he's got to be the next number one hero. He's got to be the next symbol of peace. He's All Might's successor. So, of course, he's got to do everything he can to save it. And, well, he does. I guess that's kind of a spoiler, but let's be honest. We all know he's going to rescue it at the end. But the most important thing isn't how it ends, but it's how everything plays out. How all the villains, you know, the origins of this mysterious mafia that is trying to take All Might's symbol of peace status and use it for power instead of using it for good the way All Might has used it. It really is a dark version of All Might. A dark might, because he takes everything that All Might stands for and twists it into his own selfish evilness so he can gain more power without really understanding why All Might does the things he does. Because he does it for good, while Dark Might does things for bad. It's a really interesting premise, on top of the whole fairy tale plot thing of saving the damsel in distress, and all these unique characters going in and fighting each other, and animation is so well done. It's a very entertaining movie, I will say. If you guys are interested in anime, then you, by all means, go ahead and watch this movie. Now, if you're wondering if you need to catch up to, like, My Hero Academia, I feel like for the most part you can go ahead and watch this movie without having seen the show. It does a fairly good job establishing who the characters are, what their names are, their personalities, what their superpower is, and stuff like that. It does a good job fairly establishing everything before it gets into this, you know, main setting of trapping the heroes in this alternate dimension of Dark Might, who's trying to use All Might's status as a symbol for power and stuff like that, you know. It's a fairly decent plot, and if you guys are into that, I'd say go ahead and check it out. It's a really good movie, and yeah, if I were to give this movie a rating, I'd rate it 8 out of 10. There are a few minor flaws, but I don't really need to mention them because it's overall a really decent film. Well, that's it for now. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.